If you've watched this video, you know that I did something crazy, at least to me. I created a game and a backer kit in 27 days to participate in Zine Month, specifically Backerkit's Zineopedia February promotion. Well, the month is over, the crowdfunder is done, and we fully funded and then some. The final tally was 3,500 with 170 backers. Let's go over everything and talk about what I'll do differently next time, and yes, there will be a next time. But before we dive into that, introductions. Hey folks, before we get into that, let me introduce myself. My name is VJ Harris, my pronouns are he, him, they, them, and something funny. I am a full-time tabletop role-playing designer and professional GM. You might recognize my name from things such as MCDM Productions Arcadia, Flea Mortals, and An Elf and an Orc Had a Little Baby Volumes 1 through 4. Before we get going, I've got something to show you. It's been said that greed is the root of all evil. They'd be right this time around. The gods are forgotten. The harvesting of Essentia, the substance that powers all magic in the dry lands, is all that matters. It comes before friend, comes before family, comes before life. Even though greed has replaced the divine in the hearts of man, one god has not forgotten. Kudamat, the first doom. With the greed of mortals, its awakening is inevitable. The Doom Awakens Colossus of the Drylands is a Wild West Daggerheart campaign. It's $30 per session every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. CST. Alright, back to the video. One of the major things that has always been a problem for me is procrastination. It's only semi-recently, with the help of some much-needed medication, that I'm starting to get out of its deadly grip, but it's still a process, so it was still a problem during the 2 months of this whole endeavor. Part of that procrastination was a lack of organization. Something I've learned about myself is, as much as I hate doing it, I need to make a schedule when it comes to making sure things actually get done, on top of consistently taking my medication. I didn't do that here, at least the schedule part, and it really showed. If I had done a schedule, I would have made time to read up on everything I needed to know to launch a BackerKit, including the fact that BackerKit itself had to approve the project before launch. That seems like common sense kind of thing, but my brain didn't even think of that. It's a little wonky up here sometimes. I got really lucky that I was paying attention to my Discord and got this message from a BackerKit employee telling me I had to finish up by the next afternoon if I wanted to be a part of the project. I also thought I had another day or so before I had to launch my game for some reason. I thought, oh, this event starts on the 2nd, but I can go live on the 3rd, right? Making the schedule would have meant way less stress this time around. As I've just shown you, I didn't do everything I needed to in a timely fashion in order to get the BackerKit set up, and I had to scramble to get it done. That's because I didn't prioritize things accordingly. I told myself that I would get the game done before the BackerKit launched, a deadline I imposed on myself which didn't even need to happen. I just thought it'd be cool to say the game is fully completed, and yet I had an actual hard deadline that I procrastinated with and subsequently only had 22 days to actually set the project up, and it came down to the wire. If I hadn't been, again, paying attention to Discord, I never would have been a part of Zineopedia, which I wanted to join because I was worried about my first crowdfunder succeeding. I know I just said that I didn't need to place a deadline on making the game, I just thought it would be cool, but that's an actual lie. I didn't need to place a particular deadline on myself, but 100% needed one. Realistically, I should have made the deadline by the end of the BackerKit instead of before it launched. I placed that on myself because there's a game, Fleeting Moments, a sad, weird West game about queer longing, etc., that's been on the back burner for a few years now, and I didn't want On Call to be that. And it wasn't. I got it done, which is an excellent start to this new year. But onto the mechanics themselves, I'm really proud of all the work I put into this. From the initial playtesting phase, which saw us go from rolling stats to having an array to fixing up the scenario scores, this is something I am super proud of. I'm a freelance TTRPG designer and game master. My job is at least 50% advertising my services, at least it should be. But I hate it, which is saying something since I got a communications degree. I'm not bad at it when I actually do it, but I hate it, which leads me to typically not doing it. However, this time around, I actually did it almost every day. I made an update video on how things were going. Crowdfunder-wise, I talked about it on TikTok and Bluesky and Twitter, and I occasionally posted on Tumblr as well. I also did videos breaking down how the game works. I did a recording of the game for playtesting purposes and advertisement purposes. I reached out to friends to help advertise it and put together a media packet for it. This is one of the most successful advertisement campaigns I've ever done. One thing about the advertising though, I wish I would have thought of this sooner, and that's pre-recording segments of it. Each day I was making a whole new video from scratch to say, it's day X of the On Call Backerkit, and adding all the additional information. Towards the end, I recorded 6 intros and outros all in the same shirt, and then in the morning I'd record with the new information in the same shirt and just drop it in there. Yes, there will be a next time. In fact, I already know what the next backer kit is going to be: Fleeting Moments. There are no happy endings, only fleeting moments. Fleeting Moments is a Paranormal West TTRPG about queer resilience in the face of repression. Two or more players of supernatural origin, or you can be a human, travel across the Wild West, separated by circumstances and brought back together through desperate longing. At its core, Fleeting Moments is about doomed love. Encounters in this game will have options to deal with them via combat, social, or through something in the environment. There is no initiative but phases of conflict resolution, quick, standard, long, determined by what you're doing each round. There's a letter writing phase where players write to each other about their escapades while separated, and then a reconciliation phase where they meet face to face for a brief moment. Brief, at least 3 hours, no more than 3 days. Before that chapter of the game ends and another begins. This game can end at any end of the chapter. It utilizes a deck of cards to determine encounters and shares powers along with dice, if I'm remembering correctly. I'm hoping to have this crowdfunder up and running for October, as that is one of the best months to launch a crowdfunder. See, I've already actually done some research. But onto my rules. 1. Make a schedule. When I was writing this, first thing I almost did was make a schedule in Google Spreadsheets. I love Google Spreadsheets, but that would be too much work and not very optimized. So instead, I made a new email. I'm not going to share it with you exactly, but it is specifically for any crowdfunder stuff. Anything I do with a crowdfunder, whether it's my personal stuff or things I'll buy, I'll be using that email. It also means that the calendar is the perfect place to put the schedule. 2. Read everything about setting up / doing a crowdfunder. Backerkit at least has an amazing FAQ from the little I've seen to get you going. I will more than likely stay with Backerkit, but I'll also check out Kickstarter just in case there's a reason for me to leave Backerkit for it. 3. Create the product draft if possible. I think actually having the game finished is going to be great for not only advertising, but also for my own morale. Having On Call finished was something that made me excited about the backer kit when it launched. On top of that, if I've already gotten it out the way, I can know exactly how much money I need for this actual project. Of course, that won't always be possible because I might work with other people. This particular project, I've got a partner who was instrumental in the setup but no longer has time, so I could write the rest of it and have it done by my launching date. 4. Make a comprehensive marketing plan. 4. Make a comprehensive marketing plan. As of right now, I've got TikTok, Bluesky, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Tumblr to spread marketing around. Oh, and Reddit. I might consider Facebook ads, but likely not. I'm going to try and use as many free options as possible, so I'll need to figure out the best way to advertise across all of those places, and once I've done that, I'll make as much stuff ahead of time as possible, like I did at the end of the on-call backer kit. 5. Double, triple, quadruple, and whatever the fuck comes after that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, triple, whatever. Check the math. I got lucky that we funded for more than I asked for. Otherwise, there would 100% be stuff I'm paying for out of pocket, even though I was sure I did the math right. 6. Go back over crowdfunder notes. Before I make a decision about which platform to use, I'll go over the info I read in Rule 2 to make a final decision. 7. Review everything before launching. This is pretty self-explanatory. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed listening to me for a little while and that this newbie's experience and new rules for Kickstarters is going to help you launch your first one and make it successful. But that is all for now, folks. Thanks for being here. See you in the next one. Peace out.